Hello everybody, how are y'all doing? I'm doing pretty okay actually. I hope you're doing at least that or better. Just out in Truro, barefoot obviously, for a walk. Want to go see that NCA event leader Stephen Garvey's putting on, see if there's any counter protest here this time. In other local news, Queen Heidi of the Smoky Quartz Emporium down in the valley was arrested, along with her store raided yesterday. She was in court today, I understand, and as far as I know, she was released. I don't know her conditions, I don't know the state of her store, or any of that. But that's what I know about that situation. Yet another raid on a Nova Scotian small local business. Another example of how shitty these Nova Scotian implemented and Canadian cannabis laws are. It's just honestly a mess. And then I gotta go get dog food. So here we are at the park. Stephen Garvey's here, but things are a lot quieter this time. So yeah, if anything interesting happens, I'll let you know, and I might do a little interview. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised there's no counter protests. Like, nothing really. It's pretty quiet. There's this thing, but yeah, nothing planned like last time. Doesn't seem like there's anything spontaneous going on. Just an NCA rally by the looks of things. To be honest, I'm actually kind of surprised there's nothing counter planned. Like, it seemed like similar thing happened in Chibuktuk to when they came here last time. Nothing in Truro like that though.
Lived here all his life.
So I'm down here in Truro. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't seem like there's any anti-protest here or anything.
Which
it's
is
just
great. Which is great.
Super.
Yeah.
We're having fun.
That was pretty intense in Halifax, wasn't it?
Well, I only made it through about a third of the video. I haven't got through it all yet.
It was crazy.
I didn't make it out yesterday.
As you go through it.
Yeah. But no, I got here a little while ago and I saw you over there talking, didn't want to interrupt anything, and it wasn't a whole lot of, there wasn't much excitement like there was last time you were here, kind of thing.
Here last time.
Well, it's so early, you never know, but we're not looking for it.
Yeah.
So we're happy to talk to some of our supporters, and but we'll see what happens. But that was pretty crazy.
Last night was just crazy.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Scary, actually.
Well,
Yeah, it was scary.
it was just scary for a bit.
Did you
for
look
a
through your
minute.
pictures? Did you see the one of
I
the
haven't
little?
looked through them yet.
There's
We were
one of the
just-
little girl with the giving the finger and with
Okay.
I got all them
the sign
pictures.
in the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. So
See, that bothers me. People bringing their kids, like
a
7,
good
8 year
one. I'll
old,
look through
and
that.
they're
There's a
chanting,
good
they're
one.
giving us the finger, these little kids, and I'm going,
But
you know,
yeah, I didn't.
where are you learning this?
Well, I mean, parents can do what they want, kind of thing, but
No, they can't. They're not if they're a part of society. Not if they're part of a country. You can't. There's certain limits. There's certain limits within. You can't not send your kid to school. You can't tell your kid to go out there and randomly beat people up because that's the way to do things.
well, I mean,
that's not a. You're not going to fit in the.
I guess,
you went from one thing that was kind of just like a bit of a rejection from society to something that was more violent, kind of thing. Like, and
Well, what
and
do you
that's the
think,
thing.
How do you think that what's called progression? It's called progression. Small wounds become big wounds. Eventually, if you don't tend to them, they get infected. And that's the
I just
situation
thought
that
that
we're in now.
those kids
That's
didn't need to
infection.
see that kind of thing there last night, right? They don't need to see that.
That's pure
It
hatred.
was, it was getting violent, it was getting crazy.
Swearing, a lot of swearing.
Yeah, it's a matter of opinion, I guess. Like,
What, you're okay with swearing in public too? You know, at one time we probably did that a long, long time ago, right? And because it was inappropriate, we decided to make rules and have standards and have cultural and social norms that prevent us from just going around slapping people and yelling at them and calling them names.
and I understand people having values and all, but I don't really see
There's more
swearing like the fuck word isn't really infringement of freedom of speech to me. Like, I don't
Yeah,
really
well,
have.
yeah.
But why do I have to listen to it?
I mean,
what forces
you
me to
don't.
listen to it? Well, if you walk around blurting it out all the time, it's not a cool word. It's not a nice word. Would you say it to your 3-year-old daughter?
I mean, I don't usually have. I wouldn't have a reason to. I
Well,
don't have a
if you're-
3-year-old daughter, and
if it's the same as bread, if it comes out just like bread does, then of course you say it and you won't even realize you're saying it.
yeah, I think as far as that kind of thing goes, it has more to do with your behavior and your tone kind of thing than
Called
what you're saying.
responsibilities. A little more focus on responsibilities and a little less focus on rights.
Yes,
we have enough rights. We have more than enough rights. You don't need rights to go around and try and intimidate and bully people because they've got a different opinion. That's not a right.
I mean,
There's a responsibility that goes with living amongst other human beings.
It gets
we're
into
all
it.
chimps.
It gets into whether their freedom of speech is what they're using and their freedom of assembly, all that kind of thing, or not. And like you said, like if they were spitting on you, all this kind of thing, that might be a little different. Like intentionally, were they like just up in your face? Like,
What do you mean just up in my face? How do you? How
I
I
mean-
don't have to accept that. If someone comes up to me and starts doing this, calling me a whole bunch of names and stuff, what's
I'm not
what's
saying
their
that
right?
it's behavior
What's their
that you
right?
should
What's
like.
their
I'm
right?
just saying, like,
It's not a matter of liking
were they
it.
sitting here trying to hawk loogies at you, kind of thing, or were they like
What difference
just?
does
Yes,
it
they were
make?
hawking loogies.
Yeah, okay.
All over the car, like all over the windows, everything.
Yeah, okay.
And
See,
they were
like,
threatening my life,
You know,
and they don't even know me.
and like maybe I'll end up seeing that in the video. Like I said, I haven't got the whole way through it, but
well, that's what I did last
Like,
night. I was observing, taking video.
If you defend those kinds of actions, then you are as big a part of the problem as they are, and they are the problem. And for you to sit there and turn a blind eye and say, "Well, I don't see anything wrong with that," well, then we're messed up. And it's a good thing I'm going to die soon because I don't want to see your life. I don't want to see your world if you're running it in 30 years from now, because it'll be unrecognizable to what it is today, and it's messed up today. You guys are just
can't
sliding.
point fingers.
This is okay. That's okay. This turn a blind eye to this. That's
You know,
so is what you're saying that you think it would have been better if things would have stayed like more similar to how they were like in the 1980s or 70s or something like
what was
that?
wrong with the 80s? How old were you in the 80s?
I wasn't alive in the 80s. That's
That's
why
my
I'm
point.
asking.
I was alive in the 70s, and I'll tell you, we had it nailed in the 70s and 80s. What was wrong with the 70s and 80s?
I'm not saying there's anything. I'm trying to ask where you're coming from. Like,
I'm coming from a place where I've lived long enough that I've experienced this.
the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s.
When there was true
experience.
when there was
Yeah.
true racial hatred. I had 2-3 black friends in school, and I was one of the few white guys to befriend these guys. We had some common interests, but it wasn't big. They were just starting to not segregate the schools between religions, the Catholic and Protestant.
and I've
So-
heard there's like a huge amount of like racial history in the recent, like in the late 20th century in Truro itself, kind of thing.
What kind of racial history?
Like I've heard segregation like happened up, like for example, in one of the golf courses. I hear that
It's
they
a
had,
golf course. You can still find knuckleheads who try to do that in golf courses today.
No,
But
I
that's
just
not
mean
the normal.
I just mean like legalized segregation, like it was their policy back then, kind of thing.
Of course it was.
was,
And
yeah.
we've come a long way when you
since then.
consider that's just 50 years ago. When you consider how far we've come today to allow us to have this kind of a conversation and to not hear the words that we used to hear back in the 70s and the 60s. Well, not so much the 60s because I was too young for that, but the 70s. I was a teenager in the 70s. I was that 70s show. And we had it really, really starting to have it good at that point. We were discovering new music, we were discovering new freedoms, we were discovering new relationships, all kinds of stuff.
Shortly before that, profanities were like heavily marginalized by society too, though.
Yeah, but those restrictions could have been out of necessity too, because we could very well have, before the written word was put out, right? We could have been very poorly behaved. I'm sure that because we're poorly behaved now because of a lack of, I guess, interest in our environment and lack of supervision, for lack of a better word, right? We need
Okay.
some guidance on if we're going to live together and play together and work together, we have to put an effort into it, because we're all just chimps. Right? You leave us alone unattended, unsupervised, without rules and guidelines, well, we'll go right back to Sodom and Gomorrah or whatever, Rome while it's burning. We have all kinds of freedoms, but we're burning up. It's crazy. These guys, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion like that. It's not a reason to say and make up the things that they make up. The things that I was accused of, the things that I was told to go and do, and
Yeah.
the thing that they were going to do to me for 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't imagine you were treated very well if you
No,
were
wasn't
in
very treated
Halifax
well at all.
yesterday.
And I'm more than willing to shoot the shit with someone and talk to someone. But
And I think everybody kind of is of the same understanding that things are crumbling and
no, there was 150 people that are totally comfortable with the way things were last night. They had a laugh all the way home at how much fun they had.
yeah.
That's the sad
I'm not
part.
saying that they didn't, but they also likely understand, like, they're worried about climate catastrophe, economic
that was
collapse, all
hate.
this kind of thing.
That was hate. That was hate. That was not understanding anything.
I'm not
They're
saying
so
that.
far from understanding.
I'm not
It's
saying
sad.
they
That's what's
understand
scary.
your point of view. I'm
It's not
saying
my
that
point of view.
their point of view is also rooted
Nature,
in, like,
science, and
collapse.
history. It's called nature, science, and history. None of those are my views. I have no control over any of those. I can have an opinion, but those things dictate my opinion. I can't mess with those. Nature tells me. I see the way nature. We're not supposed to treat each other like this, but we do treat each other like this. Why? It's our societal norms right now. They become messed up.
I mean,
not,
like you say, though, that was about 150 people out of like 450,000.
I know, but they get him.
And I'm not.
They're the noisy ones. They're the squeaky ones. They're the ones.
And
that
I'm not
chirp.
subscribing to this idea that it seems like you guys have, that there's this silent majority either. It seems
Oh,
like
there is.
there's a lot of people who are plenty happy to let these 150 people kind of do what they're
You'd be
doing too.
surprised. You'd be surprised.
Hey, there's trouble coming.
So I haven't got to talk to Garvey yet.
Yeah.
I
Get a chance to get in and talk.
Okay.
We got the.
It looks like there's some people coming to counter protest, and that's totally okay. Hey Stephen, I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to get my questions in before our friends get here, kind of thing, but one of the questions that I had for you was, why did you pick Colchester to run in as your riding as party leader?
What's that?
Why did you pick Cumberland Colchester to run in as your riding as party leader?
There's a bunch of reasons, but it's a salt of Canada here. These are hardworking Canadians that have been burdened, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
There were a couple other questions I had, but I might just let us wait until after this.
The NCA is full of shit.
I want to get the signs
It's
too.
full of shit, shit and more shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA
Just let them go, guys. They just let them go.
Cover your face like a coward. Shit
What?
and be a man and show your face.
No, he did last night. He did last night.
I'll talk, you pussy. Yeah.
No, guys, just let him
The
go.
NCA is full of shit. The NCA is full of shit. They're full of shit. Shit and more shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA is full of shit. They're full of shit. Shit and more shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA is full of shit. Come on. What are you gonna do? Pussy. You got that.
What's wrong, Adrian? No more little girls to fight, buddy?
Say the fuck out of our power.
You're trying to light us on fire, buddy. Garvey is a wanker. Garvey is a wanker. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Garvey is a wanker. Garvey is a wanker. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Garvey is a wanker. Garvey is a wanker. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Garvey is a wanker. Garvey is a wanker. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Adrian's a hothead. Adrian's a hobbit. Na 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 na.
You're not gonna punch any kids today, right? Because there's no cops around. There's no cops around to save your ass.
You punched a
Yeah,
fucking kid.
it's on video. Everybody here knows. Everybody knows what you do. Everybody knows. You're a fucking coward. You're a bully. You're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. Oh yeah, you like that? You like that? Get that shit out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face, buddy. Get the fuck. You gonna punch more kids? You here to punch more kids? What'd you come here for? What'd you come here for? What'd you come here for?
Get the fuck off me, bud.
You're on me, buddy. I'm just standing here. I'm just standing here.
Okay, so you're
The NCA
NCA
is full of shit.
It's full of shit.
The NCA is full of shit. They're full of shit. Shit and more shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA is full of shit.
It's full of shit.
The NCA is full of shit.
They're full of shit.
Shit and more shit. The NCA is full of shit. The NCA
The NCA
is full of shit.
full of shit.
The NCA is
Full of shit. They're full of shit.
shit and more shit.
The NCA is full of shit.
The NCA is full of shit.
Mr. Garvey, can you please address?
You guys have a spokesperson?
You want to address those fraud charges? Mr. Garvey? Your parents proud that there is a fraudster?
You have a spokesperson.
Is your mama proud that she raised a
Stevie,
fraudster?
answer the question.
Is your
buddy.
mama proud? Is your mama proud that she raised a fraudster?
Why?
Because old Boot should have a spokesperson.
Otherwise, sure, buddy. That's how it works.
If you don't mind,
You understand politics.
nothing.
Because you guys really understand politics so well.
if you guys don't mind for a second, I was actually hoping to get an answer from him on that too.
Yeah, no, we don't give a shit about what you do.
Did you have an answer to those Elections Canada charges, or?
Did you happen to catch it when he slapped my phone out of my hand?
Touch me again and find out.
Did that happen right now?
It just happened a minute ago.
Don't fucking.
Fucking touch me and you'll fucking find out what happens, little boy.
Back up.
You're not scary,
Same as
man.
you.
You ain't scared
Come
of
on,
nobody.
do something.
You're nothing but a coward and a fucking
No,
bully.
there's
You got
a coward
nothing.
hiding his face.
You got nothing.
Guys,
You got
let it
nothing.
go.
Let's do something.
You got
Come on,
nothing.
buddy. I'm all game. Let's go.
The NCA
Let it go.
is full of shit.
Look,
The
Just give it
NCA is full of shit.
relax.
Not helping.
Relax.
Why?
Stop.
Civil discourse,
Coward.
bro.
Cool, man.
Are we?
Yes.
I thought you guys were all about free speech and
Here
civil
to
discourse.
oppose you, so
Well,
I'm
why don't
pretty
you shut
sure
the
we're not
fuck up?
fucking
No,
cowards.
but I thought you were about free speech.
Why don't you shut the fuck up and let him
It's not
talk?
Because I have free
helping.
speech, too.
Stop.
Shut your
Right?
fucking mouth.
No. So that's what you think about free speech? You think people who don't agree with you should shut their fucking mouths?
You guys do that all the time.
Free speech only applies
Yeah,
if
but
you
you
want to be a fucking
and you have the
racist.
moral high ground, but you're doing the same thing. You got
Well-
all these people threatening people. Yeah, attacking.
Then why are you letting them?
You know why?
Speak
Because
all
we're
you
fascists.
want.
We don't want to discourse.
You don't even know what the name means.
Yes, we do. Okay, fine. I'm not going to talk to you.
There you go. Right?
You
That's
know exactly.
Remember I told you
spread the great
they don't
replacement.
even know what it
You
means.
spread the great replacement conspiracy theory that motivates mass shooters. No, it's not. What? You don't talk about the great replacement? Are you saying you don't talk about the great replacement? Because I got Twitter receipts, buddy.
law enforcement. They're cowards.
Yeah, it does. It's fascist conspiracy theory. You spread fascist conspiracy theories. That's what you do. You've made it your fucking wheelhouse. If you take the Nazi conspiracy theories and spread them around, people are going to see you as a Nazi. If you're spreading Nazi propaganda, people are going to see you as a Nazi.
What's the Nazi propaganda?
The Great Replacement. The conspiracy theory these guys spread about how they think all the people of color are being brought in by the Jews to get rid of the white people. That's what these guys talk about on the internet. This guy's fucking Twitter. This guy's fucking Twitter feed. This guy's fucking Facebook. Oh yeah? Yeah, about how did they feel about your Euro-Canadian
Last
thing?
night.
How's
Hey?
Charlottetown feel, buddy?
Dark queens.
Yeah, right.
I am.
That's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. You're a fucking joke.
If you knew how to open up.
Okay, so what
If you knew how
about
to open
what
up
about
Facebook,
what
you
about
would see it.
Sackville Indie Media? What about the Goyim No people who you work with?
I don't know who they are.
Oh yeah, you do. You work with them on Facebook. I got all the photographs. I got screen caps. I got
You want the
everything.
facts?
I got receipts, buddy. I got receipts. You worked with an anti-Semitic organization called Sackville Indie Media.
Why is the
Called
Jewish
Sackville
community
Indie
supporting
Media.
us?
Maybe they're being fooled.
Hey,
I don't think they are. You're making that up. You're
Mr.
making
Garvey,
that up.
what
There ain't
about,
no Jewish
what
people
about,
supporting you. You're full of shit.
What was the
Everybody knows you're a liar. Everybody knows you're a liar. Nobody gives a fuck about you.
I'm getting
The Great Replacement is a lie. Google Sean and Jack. Search Sean and Jack on YouTube. There's a full debunk. The Great Replacement is a lie, and it's a Nazi conspiracy theory. And when you spread these conspiracy theories, you're encouraging terrorism. You're encouraging mass shooters. It's the same conspiracy theory that all these mass shooters cite, and you're spreading it in our towns. We don't want you here. That's right. In El Paso, in Christchurch, and these guys talk the same shit they do. The same conspiracy theory they cite in their manifestos. You guys talk about online.
The UN
it's true, man.
population fund?
It's true.
They have replacement migration.
Oh yeah, you've never posted about the Great Replacement? You've never posted about the Great Replacement. Answer the question. Have you posted about the Great Replacement? Have you posted about the Great Replacement? Have you posted about the Great Replacement? Yes, you have. Answer the question. It's a simple yes or no. It's a simple yes or no. Yeah. Oh. See, this is how you discourse, right? Answer a simple yes or no question. You can't do it. You can't do it. You got nothing. You guys think you're going to civil discourse? You're going to win a big debate. The silent majority. Nobody agrees with you. Nobody cares.
Oh, believe me, a lot agree with them more than you fucking freaks.
We'll find about that on election day. Eh? How many votes do you think you're going to get tonight? Do you think he's going to win his seat? You think he's going to win his seat?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I'll make you a bet on that, man.
All right, I fucking will.
You're not intimidated.
I'm not trying to be intimidated.
You're not like you're. You know your guts?
Yeah.
Out here fucking guts.
Coward, I wouldn't fucking be here.
Garvey is a wanker.
Garvey is a wanker.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Garvey is a wanker.
This is the same group that was after us in Halifax yesterday.
Garvey is a wanker. Garvey is a wanker.
Oh my God.
It's absurd. It's okay.
Garvey is a wanker. Garvey is a wanker.
They're here to try and go.
Try and do something.
Don't push back. Go away.
Hey! Video of that. That's assault. That's assault, lady. I've seen that. That's assault, lady.
Come on, why are the cops fueling this?
Back the fuck up.
Back up, Matt. Back up, Matt. Back up.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah.
Stop her.
Stop it!
Hold on.
Stop it! Stop my phone! You coward!
Right down.
Get off of her!
Stop. Stop it.
These guys are...
Get off of her! Come on! Hey, please!
She's not going anywhere. She's got a hold of this time.
Put that old guy down!
You know, he's actually getting
off of her! He put her down.
This one hit right there.
We got it all on camera. You started the assault, lady. You hit him first. You hit him with the drum.
She hit the guy with the drum.
We're fascists.
We're pressing charges.
She hit him first.
Hey, we're pressing charges. He was jumping. You
Looks like there's a van way back there. Don't know how close they were hanging.
jumped on him. Jumped on him. Video jumped on him.
Red jacket around.
It's an action.
Yeah, one holding the banner right there.
These guys are threatening us. What the fuck are you guys doing? They've been threatening us, shoving us, trying to start fights.
Settle down, guys.
You don't have any permit in here.
Settle down.
I didn't start anything.
Bullshit.
That's not
She started. She hit him with the drum.
I've been trained to escalate this.
That is true.
She started. She hit him with the drum.
No, I'm telling him. I don't want him. No, the police.
What is the gentleman named Phoenix right now? I don't have my name. I thought you might be Phoenix.
Poor Dodge didn't get his charged with assault last time he hit a woman.
Trying to
get everybody out of...
Look, they were instigating. They were inciting the violence. They were trying to.
Take your mask off.
Don't be a coward. Take your mask
What
off.
you're saying is just not true.
What?
Be a man.
I don't have to.
Your mask
I don't
off.
fucking have to.
Bitch, you're a coward.
I ain't a fucking coward, bro.
Yes, you
The
are.
coward is the
You're
face
also
cover.
drunk. Why don't you give him a breathalyzer? You can smell the alcohol on him.
I believe it when I'm standing here.
drunk.
You
Take the breathalyzer
don't.
on him.
You don't. You cover your face.
Of course not. You guys
Shame
don't
on
do
you.
that.
Shame on you. This is a party that will help you get on your feet. Help you get housing. Help you get a job. Help your grandparents.
That's not what
Have
they're
a
about.
pension.
That's not what they're about at all.
Yes, it is.
They're not trying to lift people up. They're just trying to divide us against each other.
Like you
No, all they're trying to do is bring hatred. We don't want their hatred here in Nova Scotia.
You're in trouble now, buddy.
We want equality.
There's all video of you. There's no denying it.
Kick an old man in the face.
He jumped.
And he jumped you.
We got lying bastard.
He attacked a 12-year-old girl.
She was
You
put in a
have
coat.
to stop this. You have to stop
See down
this.
right here. Am I safe?
Yeah.
You probably got a video too, did you?
I'm allowed to anonymity.
Anonymity, yes.
Isn't it a crime to have your face covered?
No, it isn't.
Well, it should
Only
be.
if you're committing a criminal offense.
Well, what the hell did they just
So,
do?
yeah, I'm standing here.
Standing here, you
I've done nothing.
If you guys were here and
You're
doing your
accusing him of
job,
assault now?
you would have seen what
You're
happened.
just accusing
Well,
everybody
he's-
of assault.
Yeah, I hear you.
They
escalated.
And that big girl was
Look,
Yeah.
that chubby motherfucker's been calling me a coward.
Listen, you don't need to shoot your mouth off about it, okay?
No, like I'm just saying.
Choose your words wisely, because
Okay,
you're not helping
sorry.
the situation.
I'll
Quit
choose
drinking
my
for a
rage
change,
better.
for a little while.
He's been inciting, like trying to incite me
Stink with
into
alcohol.
a conflict, calling me a coward and all this and that and the other.
So just don't react to it.
I haven't.
We have been trying to
You're yelling it right here.
that's
like
what
you're
he's
doing.
No, you weren't.
That's why she didn't
That's
want
a
We have been-
bull-faced lie.
We've been
It's a
trying to
bull-faced lie,
de-escalate.
young
It
man.
didn't
That's a
go well.
bull-faced
Obviously,
lie.
it didn't work, but we were trying to de-escalate the situation this whole time. We're here to peacefully protest. That's our intent
You
here.
guys have also been told that you're not allowed in the civic square.
We haven't actually.
Yeah,
They
only
they
just
were
got
told
told
that.
you earlier. Okay, can I
I was not aware. Personally,
You have to have a
I
permit
wasn't.
to
So
be
I
in.
wasn't one of the people who was here earlier. If there were people here earlier, I did not.
No, no, this is.
Wait, why do you have to have a permit to be in here?
The NCA?
Yeah, we're not part of the NCA.
We are not part of it.
So they were the ones. They were here. Yeah, so that's the NCA. We're just concerned.
They're telling you need a permit.
So we're against racism. That's basically it.
That's fine.
Quiet.
They're with the NCA. The people in the NCA.
Do you realize that you're supposed to have a permit to be in here?
No, you don't.
Under the Elections Act,
You realize you were
I'm
told
allowed to
earlier.
be in a public
You were
space
told earlier
place.
when you were spoken to on the phone that you needed a permit to be in the civic square.
under the Elections Act. There's a federal election going.
public place.
I can go to a public
You
place
needed a permit
and
to be a part of
campaign.
the civic
I
square.
came in here as a candidate campaigning.
You were told
We
that you
weren't
need-
holding a rally. I was signing up people.
Okay.
You see the form?
You're allowed to do it outside of the
This
civic
is a
square.
public square. There's no
You need a
event going
permit
on.
from the town of
No, I
Truro.
don't. We
It is
weren't holding an
booked.
event.
It is booked
We
at
weren't
this time.
holding an event. I
It
was
is
here
booked.
campaigning.
Okay, then do it on the sidewalk.
I can do it in here. It's a public
Can't.
space.
It's booked.
So, did you?
Not
Was there?
to-
You said there was an assault earlier.
Yes, sir.
Do you have it on video?
Yes, we do. So does he.
Do you have it on your phone? not
This is
tonight.
Adrian's phone.
Okay,
Adrian.
so we can seize that as evidence.
No,
If
it
you guys
wasn't.
wanna
It's
file-
not on this
If you guys
phone.
want to file a complaint,
Yeah,
we're gonna need all the cell phones that have video.
See, this is
And we'll seize them as evidence.
So you don't want to deal with assault?
So the cops are all threatening to seize all the phones as evidence now. So, I'm not sure what that's all
Well,
about.
mine's in Halifax, so
I mean, that's smart, but it kind of sucks. I'm hoping that they don't try and do that.
well, I will resist that
That's good then.
for my friends.
Aren't your feet
You're here against them, right?
I'm here because I trust Nova Scotians are smart and wise enough to make up their own mind when they see things for how they actually are. So, I'm not worried about these guys. I'm not worried about the people who oppose these guys. I think fucking everybody has free speech.
Is he? For once in his life?
I saw you last time I was here, and I thought you were with them, but then I realized that was like, I'm pretty sure just videoing stuff.
Yeah, I'm mostly just trying to video what actually happens so people can make up their own mind, and hopefully people...
So you're not just like getting a video from their side where they're standing there with the cameras waving them around.
Exactly, like when someone's not trying to be impartial, like you know that the camera's kind of favoring themselves. I should try.
Like a child, eh?
Yeah.
Mommy and Daddy said I could hang out here.
I wonder if forgery is free speech too.
That fucking fat chud.
This is the storm in Canada.
Are we leaving?
Alright. Clear blue sky.
Let's go.
See you guys next time, I guess.
This wasn't a public event. I was here campaigning. No, I was campaigning with my friends. I didn't have a megaphone. We had no equipment.
Doesn't matter.
It's a public square. It's a public square. Do it then.
Yeah.
Do it then. Do it. Charge me. I'm campaigning here under the federal election powers.
Are we actually going to see Stephen Garvey get charged as a federal party leader?
See the democracy in
That could be
Canada
interesting.
at work?
It's too bad I didn't know that.
guys-
Yeah.
When I asked the fellow that was putting the tables and chairs in what it was for, he's got me, and I knew as soon as I asked him, he knew that, and he just couldn't answer. It's on his work order. He was setting it up. I said, "What's?" He said, "Oh, it's something tomorrow." I said, "What is it tomorrow?" I don't know.
So.
You can tell. You can tell that.
So I'm over here on the sidewalk. I'm gonna walk around a bit. Probably swing back around in a little while. If the Truro police have fucked off for the most part, I might go back, try and ask Garvey another thing or two, and call it a day. Oh yeah, I need dog food. Completely randomly just stumbled across this. It's the Lenore's and campaign office. This is hilarious. I'm gonna pop in for a minute. Also, I did stop in at Lenore's office. I had a little discussion with her. It was a nice visit, and I'll be posting that in a separate video. It's not really the same topic or vibe as this one. So, back to what happened. Stumbled across Lenore's office, sat and talked to her for a little while, and she was getting ready. Well, she was leaving, so I left there, and I'm kind of curious to see if the NCA is still down at the square or on the sidewalk, depending on what the old stormtroopers are saying to them and commanding they do. Got a drink too at the dollar store. Just talking to some of the people who were originally at the NCA event. Stephen Garvey's gone. It sounds like he's at the hospital with one of the people that was with him. Sounds like he got knocked in the head pretty bad, and yeah, not sure what's going on there. I just realized it's a full moon Friday the 13th tonight. And I've still got to go pick up dog food. So, that's next. Didn't have a terrible experience tonight. Had nobody call the cops on me. Truro Walmart's doing pretty good considering how they've treated me in the past. So, got my dog's food. Got the other things I came for. One thing I didn't, but I usually don't at places I've had a bad time before. But hey, they beat Canadian Tire's price, so what are you gonna do? So, I just poked my head in at the hospital for a quick second. NCA leader Stephen Garvey's there because one of his guys, they think he has a concussion. Don't really know. I just wanted to pop in and say that I hope he's not dead or extremely brain damaged or anything like that. I didn't want to make it a political thing. I just kind of wanted to say, hope your guy recovers, whatever. Sad to see violence come into this. He wanted to talk a little more politics than I wanted to, but it is what it is. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Thanks for your support. Thanks for any criticism you have. If you want to leave a comment, that's great. And yeah, a little bit of a little shit squall, not like a shit storm, but like a shit drizzle that was. Hope you all have a good night. And yeah, I hope nobody on any of the sides got severely hurt or any more hurt than we know of. And like, I know this is the end of the video, I posted it now, but I hope nobody's life gets fucked up. And yeah, have a good night.